How are you?
Bam, we're live. I'm stoked to meet you, man.
It's gonna be good.
Uh, Jack, have you ever seen this show before?
Many times.
Oh, okay, cool. It's funny. In 600 shows, I've never asked anyone that. For some reason, I thought I should ask you that to modulate how hard I should go. Hey,
I'm ready.
are you on a? Are you? Oh, Caleb, could you change his name to his Instagram account? Thanks, dude. Jack, are you on a computer?
Yep.
I saw this morning. I just don't even get it. Caleb, one more thing. Could you look up La Sierra High School? I think it's in Los Angeles, and find out if it's a public school. Look at this, Jack. I'm sure you've seen this. This has been making its way around the internet now for forever. But for some reason this morning when I was having you on, I thought, oh, this is Jack. This is 1962 in California. Have you seen this?
Program that assures every student of physical excellence. Exercise on the grip swing.
This is their
puts
PE
muscles on the
program.
least athletic. Extension push-ups are among the toughest of the drills. As an incentive to excel, the color of the shorts the boys wear is determined by their ratings on performance charts.
So they wear different color shorts depending on like how good you are. Tell me if you see one dude who doesn't look good.
A lad who has mastered the pegboard will find a military obstacle course is snap. 200 schools across the country
Nuts,
have
right?
adopted La Sierra's.
Crazy. I know my dad used to tell me they would play shirts versus skins in gym class, and no way that was gonna fly. I even went to an all-boys school, and no chance that's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in 72. I was born 10 years after this was made, and we used to do that too. It sucked for me. I was a fat kid. I mean, I wasn't fat, but I didn't like my body. That's for sure.
On a hot day, they wet down the wrestling mats for sliding. The boys at La Sierra are learning that it's not only good sense. Stan LaProsse.
You think those kids? You think anyone? It's just nut. Caleb, is that a public high school?
Yeah, it's a public school.
Fucking nuts. Jack, you're in Canada, right?
Correct.
Sometimes I'll go to the skate park and there'll be like during the middle of the day, and there'll be like 7th and 8th graders there. Like just a field trip or something, or I'll be somewhere out with my kids during the day. The kids today look nothing like that.
It's true. Yeah, I remember in hockey every year, every year that would go by, like you'd look at the team coming up behind you, and you think, no way we were that small and that slow and that like big too. There was some like
chunkers,
some chunkers, absolutely, and I think there's some truth to that. It seemed like every year, like looking back at now the new year coming into that team, just wasn't quite the body that your team had. I don't know if it was that was just us mentally, but it seemed that way for sure.
I think now, what's crazy is like all those dudes have like little CrossFit bodies that we just saw.
Yeah, pretty lean.
Yeah, and triceps bulging, and those dudes were doing the pegboards better than the CrossFit Games athletes, legless.
It's true, yeah.
Nuts. It is nuts. And I don't see how a single one of those person would be worried about the flu or getting sick. Or I bet you those guys weren't worried about shit. I bet you they got chicken noodle soup and went to school. Nothing.
Good old days, I guess.
It really is. When I started CrossFit, Greg said that like the tsunami of chronic disease is coming because of our lifestyle choices. And man, we are in it. We are in it. You train at an affiliate, right?
Yeah. CrossFit PSC.
CrossFit PSC. And that's Josh Woolley?
No,
Woolley.
He doesn't own it. He doesn't own it or actually coach there. That's Nick Anapolsky and his wife Kate Anapolsky are the owners of that.
And, so you don't go there anymore, or?
No, I do. Just Josh coaches me, and he's not. He doesn't own that gym.
But is he there at the gym?
Occasionally, maybe once a week he'll come in with us, but he actually lives like 35 minutes away from that gym, and it's pretty close to me. So he has a wife and kids at home and a full-time job, so it doesn't really make sense for him to be coming in every day of the week. And we have such busy schedules too that like we could never make it work during the week.
Kind of explain to me, if you could, the scene, because in my head I have this like image, like so what I talked to Emma Carey last night, and a couple days ago I talked to Danielle Brandon, and I just picture like they have this area that they work out in, and they go there, and 3 or 4 other athletes show up, and Matt Torres is there with like a whistle and a stopwatch, and shorts that are too short, and that guy Dom is there. You know what I mean? That's how I just picture all these. But yours is, who are the owners of, it's CrossFit PIC?
PSC. Polski Strength and Conditioning is what that kind of stands for.
And in what city?
That's in Waterloo, or maybe Kitchener, Ontario.
Okay, Ontario.
Yeah. And I think that is actually the way it is for most of these kind of training camps. Like when we went to spend a week or actually a couple of days with the Proven group, that's exactly what they did. Like they just wait for the classes to basically leave, and then everyone shows up at the same time, and like, yeah, there's Shane, whistle in hand, and like writing up on the whiteboard. But that's definitely not how we roll. Like, I mean, maybe that even is ideal, but for us, Josh just does our programming. So like every morning on our phones, we'll just go in, see what we have for the day, and it's basically up to us to find time to make that work. Like my school schedule is different every day. I also don't have like a home gym that I can do stuff in. So I work out my schedule. Emma does hers. Like she'll do some of her working out at her own house, and then maybe come into the real gym in the afternoon. The only kind of scene that you'll see that's kind of like that Proven or the Brute camp like you're talking about is maybe once a week on a Saturday or Sunday, sometimes both. We'll plan like, okay, let's meet at the gym at this time, and that's the time when the classes are done. We have like the full gym to ourselves, and then yeah, Josh will get writing on the whiteboard, and we'll kind of tackle those workouts. But for the most part, it's we kind of steering our own ship a little bit.
Caleb, could you pull up a map? And when you say we, who's the crew under Josh?
Strictly me, Emma, and Josh coaching us.
So his 2 athletes are you and Emma.
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's the way we want to keep it. Like I know for a fact that he could have more athletes if he wanted to, but I think we're all happy the way it is.
Mine. He's ours. Josh is ours. Okay. Yeah, let me look at this. Okay, so I see I see New York and I see Detroit. It's kind of dead center in between those two on the Canadian side of the border, a little north of Lake Erie. I've heard of London, Ontario. Okay, and then where? So that's perfect. And then so that's where you train. Where does Josh live?
Emma and Josh both live in Cambridge, Ontario. That's just a bit outside kind of Kitchener.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, that's like a half-hour drive for them. I live like 7 minutes from the gym.
In that town.
I'm in, like, they call it KW, Kitchener Waterloo.
And when you say Emma lives in Cambridge, she lives there with her parents?
Yep.
And then you live in your town with your parents?
Correct, yeah.
And you're born and raised there?
No, you see Mississauga there to the right, just outside of Toronto. That's where I lived all the way up until grade 12. And then I moved my whole family, my parents moved to Waterloo because that's where I was going to school for university. So.
Your parents moved there because you went to school there?
A couple of factors. I'm like the youngest kid, and some of my older siblings who also went to Waterloo for university had kind of moved back there with their kids. So for my parents being close to grandchildren, and it works out super well for me too. So I don't know, best of both worlds, kind of.
Yeah, that's cool. What's your sibling status?
I'm the youngest of 9. I have 5 sisters, 3 brothers.
Are you Mormon?
Nope.
Catholic?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, no contraception in that house. You think I should have gone Catholic first, Caleb?
No, I would have guessed Mormon too.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, that's
I'm Catholic
awesome.
too.
We're not overly like growing up.
Yes, you are. 9.
Okay,
9.
maybe
Yes, you are.
we
Yes,
went to church maybe once a week when I was a kid, but really like once I turned like 13, 14, it kind of just faded out.
God, I'd love to meet you.
All the kids don't want to go anymore, and then the parents get fed up with it, so they're like, "Screw it, we're not going."
Those are all your real siblings. Like your mom and dad. Your mom
two
had
parents. Yeah,
they all made those two made all those kids, and your mom birthed all those kids out.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a warrior. What an amazing. Hey, Caleb, look that up real quick. There's got to be, you know how like when you look at like people who juggle balls, like it's like 3 balls a shitload of people can juggle, then 4 it drops a lot, then 5 it's like and then finally you get to like 13 or 14 balls that someone can juggle, and it's like one person in the world can do it. You know what I mean? It's like 9 kids must be how old's your oldest sibling?
He's 23 years older than me, so 43.
Yeah. Okay. So was she going about every 2 years?
Yeah, there's the gap's basically like 2 to 4. Yeah.
What a great life.
Yeah.
For those of us who love kids, that's the dream. I would have loved to have had a shot at 9 kids.
Yeah. Growing up, it was always like Jack's the kid with the big family. And then I went to high school and there was a kid who was like middle of like 13 or 12. Yeah. So everyone stopped caring immediately about me, which is fine.
What's the vehicle? What's the family vehicle? What's your mom and dad drive?
Well, with such
a Porsche and a Miata.
Yeah, I wish. With such a big age gap, I never lived with my oldest couple siblings, so like it's not like we had 9 kids in the house at all times. Like they're already gone. No, we just had like usually like a minivan, and then like a smaller car for my dad to go to work in.
A lot of illegal driving, like 2 kids to a seat and people sitting places.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I already do that shit, and I only have 3 kids. It's just you got to get the tennis bag in there and some other shit, and then 3 kids are sitting in one seat.
Yeah,
sitting in one seat belt. That's got to really shape you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it kind of plays a different factor on every kid in my family. Like the oldest has been shaped differently than me as the youngest. I feel like I don't know if it's just because like what I'm into, like it's easy to get behind me because I am like doing these competitive sports all my life and whatnot, but I definitely feel like being the youngest, kind of my whole family's like rallied behind me, maybe more than anyone else. But yeah, just like the constant support. It seems like sometimes I have like 10 parents, like someone I can go to basically for anything. And then obviously my 2 parents are great as well. But yeah, like having older siblings especially is crazy nice.
Yeah, I love hearing you say that. Okay, so 14% of women have 4 or more children. Can you see what percentage, Caleb, have? Is there like a breakdown of it? It's got to be getting into the 1% of 1%. They stop at 4.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
Yeah, I guess I know a handful of people who have 4, and it's always like they're the ones who have a lot. Yeah, that's amazing. So I have this rule of people, if they call me, I answer no matter what. So like it's really just my wife, my mom, and my sister. Like no matter what, like even if I see the phone ring, I'll answer and just be like, hey, I can't talk, and hang up. But I always, do they all get that? All 9, 10. You would have like 11 people on that. Well, and I guess Emma. You would have 9, 10, 11. You have 12 people on that list.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts, really, for having such a big family. Like, I feel like it'd be easy for like certain people to drift apart. And obviously some people are like closer with others than some other people are. But like the things my siblings will do for other siblings is nuts. Like my brother-in-law, one of my brother-in-laws, when he came into the family, was like I remember him saying something like, this is like crazy, like the extent people will go to do things for other people. And I like, yeah, so like it's I've never once thought like, man, this sucks to have so many people here. Like it's only ever been a positive. So yeah, and all my siblings are great for their own reason too. So it's pretty awesome.
Things start getting weird to scale. Like even with 3 kids, like if I want to buy one of my kids a scooter and it's $150, all of a sudden it's $450. Or like, let's say you wanted to get one of your kids a phone, and a phone's $1,200, a new iPhone. All of a sudden for your parents, it's like the cost of a car.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like a gallon of milk's not even enough. Like for today.
Yeah, it's crazy. My mom was like a super frugal shopper. Like she had to be at one point. So yeah, she definitely made it work. And then I've also just had certain things that my older siblings just didn't get. Like when my older brothers were like playing hockey, like there's no chance my dad can watch the game. Like we have 6 kids at home who all need him. But like my dad would drive me to my games, watch my games just because he had more time. So yeah, I definitely kind of there's some benefits to being the youngest for sure.
Look at Bailey Walker, 14.
Wow.
Holy shit. Yeah. Another thing is each kid I think gets a little more what I call benign neglect. And by that, it's not bad neglect, but you're super worried about your first kid. You think he's going to hurt himself putting on his socks. And then your last kid, he's like playing with the lawnmower and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. My mom always jokes that like potty training for me, she just had enough. So she claims, I don't know how true the story is, that she just put me on the toilet and played this movie called Once Upon a Potty and said, call me when you know what you're doing. So I don't know if there's any
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. You're just like, you don't even know. I mean, my first kid, I know all of his firsts. My second and third kid, I'd like when they walk, any of that shit, I didn't pay any, like whatever. Like you better just get in where you fit in. They probably, yeah, that's amazing. But the trade-off for that is you're right. Your parents have way more time for you, right? Because the others are flying out of the nest.
Yeah. Yeah. Even now they can like fly to competitions and stuff to come watch me or travel to competitions. So even just financially, like they have significantly more stable now than they were when they were like 22 with a couple kids. So yeah.
22. How old are your mom and dad?
I think so there's the same age gap between me and my oldest brother as my oldest brother and my dad. So I guess that puts my dad at like 65, 66 now.
Oh man, he's still so young. Holy cow. Wow. Do you, and you have all their numbers in your cell phone and is there a family text thread with everyone?
Not a text thread. We have a Facebook group that's like very, very active. Just like it's mostly like things like my nieces and nephews, so my parents' grandchildren are doing, but like any big event, like just sharing it on there, like, and people are definitely active on that. It's pretty cool.
After the show, start a text thread just to fuck with them. You guys need a text thread.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you guys all in Canada?
Currently, yes, I think. One of my sister and brother-in-law used to live in Seattle. Another sister used to live in California. So they've gone out a little bit, but now they're kind of all moved back to Waterloo.
Seattle and California are pretty much Canada.
Yeah.
We've adopted your policies.
Yeah.
How about the whole the way, I don't know if it's politics, but how about the last 2 years of just all the divisive subjects that have risen to the top? How has your family navigated that? Has everyone stayed friends through all that?
Yeah, we've stayed friends. I think there are definitely like some different ways of thinking within my family. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like it can get a bit dicey at times. But I think sometimes we just kind of have a code, just like whatever. If someone's gonna get all up in arms about something, just don't bring it up, I guess. But yeah, no friendships or love lost, but there've definitely been some kind of raised voices and such at family gatherings. Yeah.
My dad doesn't want to talk to me about certain subjects too. And I don't think that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think for me,
like if I had kids, sorry, if I had kids, like I want them to be able to talk to me about anything.
Yeah, I feel that's how I am with my parents. Granted, I think we think similarly on a lot of things, but yeah, like I would never be afraid to challenge something they say, and they would do the same to me. So yeah, I don't know. For me, I agree, and that's the way it is. But I don't know if the viewpoints are just so extremely different, then it's obviously tougher. Not that it can't be done, but
right. Well, I'm glad it didn't tear away. I'm glad for me too. It didn't like separate the family. Grandchildren will help a lot with that. I think that's a lot of the reason why my parents are so patient with me. Is because and my sister is because they love the shit out of their grandkids. How many nieces and nephews do you have?
In total, 5.
And with more
5
coming.
Total. None on the way just yet, but yeah, I'm sure.
And how many of the siblings are married?
There's a lot to keep track of, so pardon my weight here. I think
take your time.
Maybe
weird long silent pauses are a trademark of this show. Hallmark.
I think 6 of 9 are married or engaged.
Do you see yourself getting married?
Yeah, for sure.
Kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. And you're a good kid?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I think growing up, like a lot of the stuff I did was to make my parents happy or proud of me, and like in turn that's just made me happy. So like whatever, doing well in school, doing well in whatever, just being a good person basically, like was for them at the beginning, but like now I'm so glad that I have those type of things. So
yeah, it's how old are you?
20.
I was in that I think probably like the first 23 years of my life, all I wanted to do was make my mom happy. And I think that was a good thing. And then probably like somewhere from like 23 to probably 30, I started like, that's when I went through my like kind of like my rebellion. And that was good for me too. I needed to like I needed to like be like, okay, fuck that. I'm doing what I want to do. But at the end of the day, when I look back, those first, I think it is really important that kids want to make their parents happy.
Yeah, I think my rebellion phase was probably like the summer of 2020, and it was far from a rebellious phase, but I like bleached my hair and like, yeah, and that was basically it for me, just to do something that's kind of out of the ordinary. And yeah, my parents were like, oh, that was stupid, but they didn't care. So
like, you don't even tell them, you just went somewhere and you come home and you're like, here, take that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Any of the siblings do CrossFit?
Yeah, they're the ones who got me into it. So my oldest sister originally started working out at NorCal. She has a good story of
at Khalifa's gym.
Yeah.
Wow.
She told me the story of one time she showed up to like a 5:30 class or whatever. No one was there, so she called the number on the wall that was if the coach doesn't show up, call this number, and it was Khalifa's number apparently, and he was just cussing through the phone at the thought of his coach not showing up, which is a good yeah.
Let me tell you, I've never heard Khalifa say a bad word. That guy is squared and shit. I'm going to ask him when he comes on, but I believe it because he takes his business serious.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my oldest sister. And so she got into a little bit. And like, she still does a lot of fitness stuff. She doesn't like go to an affiliate anymore, but she then got my other sister and brother-in-law super into it. And they're kind of the two that I kind of looked up to the most growing up. Like if I have 2 second parents, it's them. So when they got into it, like I always wanted to be like my brother-in-law. Like I love them so much. And then so when they got into it, they kind of got me into it a little bit too. So and then it wasn't really until later that I really started to go for it. But yeah, my siblings introduced me to CrossFit for sure.
How old's your brother-in-law? You know,
He'd be 34.
And so when your sister brought him around, you were like, oh, this guy's cool as shit.
Yeah, so I've known he's a sibling to me. I've known I think he first probably met me when I was 1. So he's been around since the dawn of time for me. But yeah, growing up, like, and he was like strong. Like we have a good picture of like us both flexing when I was probably like 7 or 8, and I'm just a little twig, and he has this big old arm beside me, and I was probably so impressed. And now we still work out together, and I'm taller than him, I weigh more than him, and I can outlift him now, and it's just kind of crazy how that happened.
When you say your oldest sister, is she the oldest sibling?
No, I have a brother who's older.
And what is the makeup of the siblings? How many boys and how many girls?
4 boys, including me, 5 girls.
Oh, wow. Your parents got lucky.
Yeah.
What a great mix. How do you find this guy, Josh Woolley? Who is that? Can you tell me about him? Who is he? How old is he?
He's probably mid-30s or
okay,
maybe low 30s. Yeah, 32.
Was he ever a games athlete?
No, he was definitely competitive back in his day, but like never regionals or games caliber. So the way I was originally following just like kind of those general programs, like whatever, like Mayhem and Deca comp back in the day. And then I moved here to Waterloo when I started university, and I did the open that year. So that was maybe even last year's open, like not this last year that just passed, the year before that. And I was not too pleased with how I did there. Just, yeah, I think I came like a 1,000th worldwide, which isn't bad, but like, I kind of thought I was going to do better than that. And I just thought like, man, I'm doing these, like a lot of training every day, but it's not tailored to me. And like I'm not attacking these weaknesses. And so Emma's at this gym, and she was coached by Josh. And I started doing some workouts with her, and then one day she kind of just said like, hey, you should like see if Josh would be willing to coach you too. And I think she had actually already talked to him at that point. And so I kind of called Josh one day, and he kind of said like, yeah, I'd be down to coach you. And he talked about kind of like what he saw in the future for me, and you could tell like he had a lot of faith and confidence in me. And so that was kind of reassuring to hear. And so, yeah, it's been almost 2 years now since I've started working with him.
What did he tell you? Oh, sorry. I got it. David, shut it. Just shut it. This is my show. I'll ask him as many times as I want about the sex of his siblings. Okay. What did he tell you he saw in you?
Well, so that was the first year that they had the kind of the quarterfinal, semifinal hierarchy thing. So this conversation would have been just after the open, before quarterfinals. And I remember thinking to myself,
2021.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So like after the open of 2021. And I remember after the open having this conversation with my brother-in-law, who he never programmed for me, but for all my comps, basically leading up to that point, he would come and be that like coach figure, kind of like whatever you need, like food, carrying your stuff. And he knows enough to like kind of give me strategies and whatnot. But I remember talking to him, thinking about this new format that CrossFit just put out, and saying, yeah, I have no chance of making semifinals this year. Next year, I'll be fighting for a semifinal spot. The year after that, hopefully be in the last, or make semifinals, but be middle heat. And I laid out this like 5-year plan, maybe 6-year plan. And at the end of that would be to make the games. So like 6 years away or 5 years away, whatever it was. But I thought no chance I can make the semifinals this year. And so during this call with Josh, he said like, he told me what I had, basically, like what I was working with, and it was significantly more than kind of I valued myself for. And he said, like, yeah, like I even think this year, like we could make a semifinal. And I kind of thought he was crazy at first, but hearing him say that just put this confidence in me. And when I have confidence, I'm definitely a significantly better athlete than when with not. So I actually did make semifinals that year, and that kind of just reassured me, like, yeah, this guy knows like that I have potential. So yeah.
I had made 2 feature-length documentaries. They'd circled the globe. I'd won a shitload of awards, and I still didn't think of myself as a filmmaker. I just saw myself as a dude with the camera who fools around on his computer 8 hours a day. And then I got this job with this guy. He owned the company Vitamin Angels. It was the largest distributor of your Catholic roots will like this. It was the largest distributor of vitamins to malnourished children anywhere in the world. And he's like, hey, I want to take you around the world with me to make films about what we do. And it didn't pay. And I was living at home with my mom. But he treated me like a professional filmmaker. And he turned me into that just by treating me like that. It was so weird. I guess he just believed in me. He saw something in me that I didn't see. He saw me like as an artist, and it was weird. It works. I just turned into it for him, I guess.
Yeah. I think that's very similar.
There's some details there I want to know about. So how did you meet Emma? I was under the assumption that you met Emma because through Josh, but you knew Emma. Oh, which one is Josh?
Not the far right one over. Yeah, that guy there with sunglasses.
Okay, the tall guy.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's the one I would choose to be your CrossFit coach, just by judging people by their outside appearance.
Yeah.
How did you meet Emma? So you met Emma before Josh?
Yeah, long before.
How did you meet her?
Yeah, so we both made the 2019 games in the teenage division. And so we talked a little bit there, kind of became friends. And then later on, I want to say February of 2020, there was this partner comp at my gym at the time. And we did that together. And so that's kind of when we became like much closer friends. But then when I moved to Waterloo, which would have been like 10 months later, maybe, that's when I was first introduced to Josh.
So you show up at this competition in 2019. Had you ever even heard of Emma before?
Which one? The games?
The games. The teenage comp.
Yes, just because there was another teen who lived 50 minutes away from me that was going to the games. So just word of mouth, Instagram kind of stuff.
Right. Oh, but you never talked with her. You just were like, oh, there's another CrossFit Games athlete.
Yeah. No, never spoken.
Okay. And then you're at the games, and how is there time to talk to her? Did you actually talk to her there? Like you shake her hand, you're like, hey, I live close to you. I'm Jack.
Not much time. The few interactions I remember were during the opening ceremonies. Like all the Canadian athletes were kind of lumped into a group, and I was probably too scared to try to talk to any of like the big dogs. So it was just kind of the teens that were all together. So maybe a couple words there. And then I remember me going out for the ruck. We had a ruck run, and she was coming in, and I just asked her how hot it was, and she said hot. And then that was that. Yeah, that was the only.
And did you
only
say
time.
yes? And were you like, yes, you are? Wink, wink.
No, I didn't have the guts to do such a thing.
At that age, did you talk to girls growing up? Like I didn't talk to girls. I was scared to death of girls. I was afraid of like what could come out of my mouth.
In elementary school, sure, yeah. Like
me too. Elementary school, I was quite the player in elementary school.
I was a more popular kid in elementary school. So like whatever. But then high school, like I said, I went to an all boys school, and I'm actually like really proud of my high school years. I was honestly just so focused there on school and working out. I like really had no desire to do anything extracurricularly in terms of girls.
Wow, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
I think in junior high, I started thinking about girls, and then I was just obsessed until a month ago. So and what were your workouts like in high school?
Kind of progressed with the years. Like I took it more and more serious each year. Honestly, to make the teenage games, which I would have done my third year of high school, you don't really have to be all in on CrossFit. Like, I don't know, I was working out pretty hard, like maybe 2 to 3 hours a day. But like if something came up on the weekend and it just made training inconvenient, like I wouldn't have done it. Like
You were no Emma Carey. You were no Emma
no,
Carey.
exactly. Like I cared, and everyone knew me as like the CrossFit kid, but I was not like committed fully, like as much as you need to be to like actually be good in the open division. But for the teenage division, it's good enough. And yeah, so I made that. But then grade 12, I kind of started getting into it a little bit more and more dedication. I remember going to the gym. I'd go at like 6 a.m. for 2 hours, and then from 4:30 to 6:37 for another 2.5. So a little bit more discipline there. But when all the gyms shut down, I kind of just gave up for a year almost.
You did?
I would still work out every day, even for an hour to two. But I had this job working in a car factory that was like 10 hours every day, 6 days a week. And I remember just sitting there on my barbell in my garage crying, thinking I do not want to do CrossFit anymore. Like I cannot work out for 5 hours and then go stand on my feet all day. And so I remember.
And was this all pressure? Was this all pressure you're putting on yourself?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
No one would have cared if I stopped working out. So yeah, during that summer, I remember talking to my brother-in-law, and he said, "Well, just do what you want to do then." And so for whatever reason, during that time, I got super into like running and biking. And honestly, looking back on it, this is whatever 2-3 years ago now. It probably helped me build a base that I wouldn't have had otherwise. But so I followed like Chris Hinshaw programming. So like every day I would do like at least an hour of running, some biking in there, and then I still sprinkled in whatever lifting and CrossFit-y workouts I wanted to do too. So it kind of turned from I never want to do CrossFit again into I'm going to do what I want to do and put no pressure on it. And that ended up being actually a fair bit of working out. So yeah.
I mean, 10 years or 15 years ago, you couldn't have done that because there weren't computers for you to look up and get the programming. It's crazy how small this world's gotten.
Mm-hmm.
What car factory? What cars were you building?
Well, the company's Fiat Chrysler, but we made in that factory Dodge Chargers and Challengers. So pretty cool cars, actually.
And what did you do in there?
So for the summer students, they usually give you like the shittiest job possible, like on the line, like you're doing the same task hundreds and hundreds of times a day. But me and my 3 buddies who went all together, we all scored with like these jobs only for like 50-year plus people. So I was what they call the torque auditor. So I would go around and check the torque on different sections of the car and just make sure that they were up to standard or whatever.
So there would be a bolt, and you would have like this thing in your hand, and you'd put it on there and push a button, and and it would give you a little digital readout. Okay, that one's torque good.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the little torque wrench, and it's attached to this little computer type thing. You give it a little go, and it would either give you like a good beep or a bad beep. And so maybe once every like 5 weeks, you'd get a bad beep, and then you had to write up about it.
Was that exciting? Were you looking forward, or were bad beep was like, fuck the paperwork?
Oh, no, you did not. Yeah, you didn't want to get anything. Yeah, because that thing took like half an hour to write up, and the job was, like I said, it was only for the 50-year plus people. So you had to do like 3 rounds of this list of checks every day. And so a round maybe only took 2.5 hours, and the day's 10 hours long. So there's definitely some time for relaxing in there too.
When I was in high school, I worked at a place. It was kind of like it was called Drug Barn. It was a hybrid of like a Costco and like a CVS. You know what a CVS is?
Yeah.
And it just had aisles, and we would screw around so much. Like we would all stand on like when the place was closed at night, we'd all stand on one end of the pharmacy or the store, and like everyone got to like, you'd pick like candy bars and see how many aisles you could throw over. And we would just do crazy shit too. Like we would get on the mic and, and say like, oh, a child's taking a dump on aisle 3. Oh, we need to clean up. We would just make shit up or just try to get people's reaction. Did you guys do fooling around in there?
No, they were a no BS type place. Like you get in a lot of trouble if you start messing around. I remember, and you had to wear a mask in this hot car factory all day. And I started getting like, oh,
so you were prepping. You had to wear a mask
Absolutely.
already. That's cute. How cute.
Oh, well, this is 2020. Yeah. It was only for.
It was because of that. That's why you had to wear the mask.
Goodness. And I remember getting the worst acne on my face. So I started rolling the bottom of the mask up so that my chin wouldn't be covered. And like 8 people went immediately to the supervisor guy, and I got ripped on for that. It's crazy.
Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada.
Okay.
You should change the name of your country to compliant, because ankle grabbers is already taken by Australia. By the way, you were on possibly. So when I have these guests on, I always listen to other podcasts they're on. And I truly feel sorry for people who come on to this podcast. And I say this with fucking all humility, because it's really all downhill from here. It's just, you were just on the worst podcast that's ever been done in the history of the world. It was 10 days ago. It was published. I don't remember the name of it, but I listened to it yesterday, and it has an echo. First of all, the two hosts, I don't know what the two hosts like they just split a bottle of Oxycontin.
Yeah, I shouldn't rip him too bad. The one guy's a pretty good friend of me, but
did you tell them that they need to just watch my show endlessly, find all the things that they like and steal them? All
right. Yeah, I was tripping up on my own words there, hearing the echo for an hour and a half or however long it was. So
what the fuck is wrong with those guys? Why those guys are taking server space at YouTube? Tell them to fucking delete that shit. Listen to you knuckleheads out there who are doing podcasts. Your goal should not to be to ruin people's brand. Like, did those two guys get together and be like, we're really going to fuck Jack Harlow's brand up? I mean,
Jack Harlow.
Sorry, Jack Farlow. I'm already fucking up your brand. Jack Harlow. Yeah. Jack Harlow, that's a famous guy, right?
Yeah, a rapper. And I do like him. He's pretty cool. But it used to be like I'd always go showing people his songs when he was small. But now it's everywhere I go, I get that comment. So not
at one point, those guys asked you about being famous. I screamed at the TV. I think nobody in CrossFit is famous. Nobody, not one. We're in a little tiny fishbowl. The only time you think you're famous is you go to a comp and maybe you're famous for a second. No, there's no one famous. Oh, I was losing my mind. Okay, sorry. They're your friends. I'll go easy on it. Losing my mind. And the echo.
Yeah.
My goodness. Did those guys just start?
I couldn't really tell you. The guy who runs it, I don't really know much about him. The other guy, I don't think he usually goes on the podcast, but that's the guy I know. So I think he
he was the better of the two.
Okay.
I felt bad for him too. The guy on the left.
The guy who didn't do as much question asking.
Yeah. I felt a little sorry for him too. My goodness. It was okay. Sorry, Jack.
Peace and love, Sevi.
Yeah, peace and love. I'm just like, my goodness. But he's not. They're not alone. There's all sorts of people out there. I should invite him on my podcast and ask him. This kind of shit. Yes. So, Jack, tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
Fair enough.
Okay, settle down. Back to Emma. Okay. So 2019, she tells you it's hot out there on the, or no, sorry. Yeah. 2019, she tells you it's hot out there on the field. And what was her status then? Did she win that year? Was she who she was? Like, did you know, did everyone know, oh, that's Emma Lawson, she's going to tear shit up?
No, I think she came third, maybe. Yeah. So, and that was, I think maybe Emma Carey won that year. And I'm not sure who was second, but yeah, it was a pretty good group there. But yeah, I don't know. Not really much. Didn't know much about her really at that point.
And did you feel any sparks then when you saw her? Were you like, oh, I'd like to get to know her, she lives close to me?
I think only in the
Catholic school mode, Catholic private school mode.
No, I think only in the sense that it was like finding another team who does CrossFit is so rare, and then never mind someone who's at such an elite level. So I think that was kind of the initial interest, is that someone who shares something that you really can't find anyone else who does. So that was cool.
And then so you come back to Canada, and you guys start basically talking through Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, we talked a little bit, but I'd say we really only started actually talking after that competition I said we did, which was like a year later. So whatever, maybe a couple things here and there between the games and that competition. But then after that competition, to the time I moved to Waterloo, there's pretty, like, we talk somewhat regularly.
And so, sorry, I missed that. See, David, here's something else I didn't listen to. So after that competition in 2019, the CrossFit Games, you ran into her at another competition.
Well, I asked her to be my partner for the competition.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So that's
awfully forward, right?
Sure. Yeah. This picture you see here is that competition, but the year following. So it was the same competition, this Bros and Does it's called, but the year prior was the time that we first did the competition together.
Wow, that's a hell of a name for Bros and Does. That is good.
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm surprised they didn't get canceled for that. That's really good. And when you competed with her, that's an intimate setting, right? Competing with someone, whether it's man or woman. It's like you guys are you're close with that. You're going to get close with that person or hate them. You're either going to like them at the end or hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that was like, I mean, we were both pretty young then, and I mean, not the athletes we are today. And we actually won that competition, which was kind of like no one saw it coming. So that even just added to it, having such a crazy week.
Shared something really, you guys shared by winning, meaning not only you did something tense, but you shared a high together.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you see the podium picture for that, I think if you scroll down a little bit in my account, you'll see I was basically too scared to put my arm around her on the podium, so I just have this fist that's just laying on her shoulder.
Oh, you're such a good dude. God, yeah. I hope my boys turn out like you. All that shit sounds so healthy. You should be terrified of them. I mean, it's just healthy. And did you meet her parents there?
Yeah, they were there.
And is that the first time you met them?
Yeah, it would have been. Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear their talk afterwards, if they knew, because parents know shit.
Yeah, I remember her mom followed me on Instagram like a week after, and I thought, oh, that's a good sign. So, yeah.
So that's where something did happen there to you with her, like your heart grew for her at that event. That's where.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
God, man, being young is fun.
Yeah.
You're doing your favorite thing, CrossFit, and then you're having this, the thing that we're all made to do is just have intense relationships, loving relationships with other human beings, and you got both of them all.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
In one show, yeah. And then at some point, and tell me if I'm skipping ahead too far, but at some point, that's quite the commitment on her part to offer her coach to you. I mean, in the CrossFit space, that's about as fucking intimate as you can get. I mean, that's really intense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like at that point, have you guys told each other you like each other when it comes to that point?
So we did that competition. I moved to, like I said, the gym that she's training at maybe 8 to 10 months later. And that's kind of when like things picked up a little bit. Let's see. And then then I started doing a lot of training with her, and I mean, it was good for multiple reasons.
But Josh wasn't your coach. You were kind of just
no. I just stole. Yeah, I just stole the programming.
Awesome. God, I love this story.
So and I think obviously that was good because I wanted to spend time with her and she wanted to spend time with me, but also just training with someone else. And people always talk about like not having direct competition, so that kind of like male female, and we're obviously very competitive with each other, but it's like when I lose to her, it's not like, oh, that's my competition there. So I think we also found that it was very beneficial for both of our training. And yeah, I remember it was like just sitting on the couch one day and she said like, yeah, you should ask Josh. And as soon as she said that, the idea had never actually crossed my mind, but as soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I think I talked to Josh maybe a week or two later.
God, when I think of the two of you sitting on a couch together, I just think that couch must be gross. It just must be was it like the sweat couch?
Yeah.
CrossFit athletes should never be allowed to sit on any couches.
Yeah. No, I think that wasn't at the gym, so probably at least had a shower between.
You guys are always sweating. You're always. Do you sweat a shitload at night, Jack? When you're sleeping? That seems to be a theme with these guys. Like in the middle of the night, you guys are just overheating and just dumping. Like little kids. My little kids do that, but it seems like high-level CrossFit athletes do that too. Sweat a shitload at night.
Not really at night unless I'm sick, but I don't know anyone who sweats more than me at the gym. Like I'm just raining.
Like to where people comment like, hey, there's a puddle under your rower?
Oh, absolutely. When I do biker workouts, they call it the River Farlow because it actually starts like flowing. Crazy, so.
There's frogs laying eggs in there. By the end of the workout, there's tadpoles.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
So because of that, are you conscious? You just drink shitloads of water?
Yeah, and lots of salt.
What's that look like? The water and salt. How much water and what do you do for salt?
Well, I've kind of played around with different things. The number one thing for salt though is that like just all my food is like a dousing of salt. But if I'm at the gym for like a long session, then I have these like they're called LMNTs that I drink, just like with sodium in there. So yeah. Sometimes
what flavor do you drink?
I think I have like raspberry and watermelon. Yeah. So
you like the chili one?
What's that?
Do you like the chili one?
No. The spicy ones I'm not a fan of. Yeah. It's kind of weird to.
I want to try the habanero one.
It's
so
good.
bad.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah, I've tried it. Not my favorite though.
You need alcohol in that. When you retire from CrossFit, that one you need. A habanero would be.
Maybe that's why I liked it.
And when she invites you, so you let me go back a second. What made you think that you were good enough to go to the CrossFit Games as an individual athlete? I mean, it seems like such a crazy goal.
Are we talking as a teenager or like
no?
Right now?
Well, okay, let's start there. Yeah, I was talking about right now, but even as a teenager, what made you think you could go?
I honestly don't know. It was probably a goal in the making for 3-4 years. When I first started, when I did my first open, I wasn't even old enough in the 14-15. So I signed up under my brother's name, and I did not place well at all. And then the next year, like there's a significant improvement. And then it was when I was 16 in the 16-17, I think I came 30th and top 10 top 10 go to the games. And I thought, okay, yeah, next year I have a legitimate shot. As of now, what makes me think I can go? I don't know. That's kind of like a constant struggle is kind of seeing how good I really am. One of the things I've actually started looking at is my trajectory versus Emma's. And I think Josh pointed out that I'm I'm kind of following her a year behind. That's not to say I'm going to be 6th at the games next year necessarily, but the year before last, she was actually 9th at Atlas, and I think had the same quarterfinal placing as me in North America too. So she made that big of a gap or jump in 1 year, and if I can do the same, that put me in a pretty good spot to make the games.
I was talking to Emma about this yesterday too. What happens when were you doing CrossFit before you went through puberty?
Yes, the first time I did CrossFit definitely was before. I would say a little bit late in like the maturing game. So yeah, I was.
And what happens when you go through puberty and you're doing that and you're training 2 or 3 hours a day? Like, does it feel like, I mean, I said the same thing to her and she's like, I'm like, I guess you don't know because it's just you. But were you, do you remember transitioning like into manhood and being like, oh shit, something's like happening? Like, does it become harder to move? Do you get stronger? Like what are there obstacles? Are there good things? Like what are some of the things? Because most, like we see the kids now, they're not doing shit they go through puberty, but it seems like that's the time when you should have your foot on the gas pedal, taking advantage of all the hormones, right?
Yeah. One summer, I remember I'm pretty strong now, and like it all came seemingly in that one summer, and that was the summer like I talked about. I wasn't even doing that much working out, but like it seemed like any time I touched a barbell, it was going to be heavier than the last time I did. Like you can just do no wrong basically in terms of working out there. Your body's just gonna like adapt like never before to the stimulus you're putting on it. So yeah, I'd say that summer absolutely is kind of when I got that man strength a little bit more.
And how old were you?
17, 18. Yeah.
Were people starting to notice too? Like your family, the siblings and your parents? They're like, holy shit, Jack.
I don't think so, actually. I don't actually think I was ever really that big. Maybe even till like last year, the year before. So I maybe even wasn't looking that much different or getting that much bigger, but just like, I don't know what about my muscle just made it that much more effective or whatever.
Hey, was that Shane Orr running through those pylons?
No, that was some knucklehead in front of me, and I actually got ripped on at school the next day when I posted this because apparently that guy's running like an idiot and people thought that was me. So
I think that's Shane. Where is that? That guy looks like Shane Orr.
It does. I don't think it's him though.
Oh, is that you right there?
Yeah, green shirt.
Yeah, you're smooth. That other guy, Knucklehead's a little harsh, but he's definitely a spaz. His neck's doing something different than his body.
Yeah.
It's almost like he was making fun of it.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, he looks so bad.
Yeah.
Has it been smooth sailing since you went over to Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. I've never trained as much as I do, but I think more importantly is like I've never put as much into training as like training is absolutely like my number one thing I think about every day. Like I said before, when something would maybe come up on the weekend to make training inconvenient, like it was like, oh, whatever. And like now it is like absolutely training first and then whatever else I have time for as well. And that can get tough. Like some things I just don't get to go to. Like oftentimes my family will have like a gathering in the middle of the week and it's like there's just no chance I can go to that. So just things like that. Absolutely, I'm putting more into it now.
I wasn't able to do that, I feel like, until my 30s. I was able to draw a line between what I wanted to do and what other people expected me to do or wanted to do. Mm-hmm. How do you think you came about that so early to put yourself first?
Well, I think I started doing that when the transition to working with Josh started. And I think one of the biggest things about that is now I have someone else who's directly invested in me doing well. And like, he's putting in time to help me out. And it's like, now that that's happening, I don't know what it is, but like now I don't have the option almost. And I don't want to have the option, to be honest with you. And I found the same thing doing nutrition, like with a coach. I tried to do some stuff on my own, and it just got ugly. And when I had like a coach giving me whatever numbers to hit, like that's what I was going to do. There's nothing that was going to change that.
Pressure from your parents are your parents supportive of it, or do they get disappointed when you're not able to come to the family functions or do things that they think maybe you should do?
They understand, they're supportive. I feel like just kind of now especially my mom is like fully catching on to like you have to really train if you want to be good at this. I remember one time, this was probably last December, and then the opens in whatever, February, March. I think I was going to the gym and whatever, maybe I was missing something, and my mom just asked me, "What are you even training for? You don't have a competition coming up." And yeah, she didn't really understand that, like, you got to be training now if you want to be good come March, come June, come July. So yeah, but and then she started coming to some of the bigger competitions and just gets more and more on board with kind of what has to go into it.
Jack, you're the first. You might never be invited back on again. I do this show. I'm probably 700 shows in, and I spilt my coffee for the first time with you on the show. And because I play the victim mindset, I can only blame you.
That's right. Fair enough.
I can only blame you, son of a bitch.
You spilled on your new phone too?
Yeah, new phone.
I'm ruined. It's all your fault, Jack.
Thank God I have this Rogue cup with this sealed lid. And actually, I think Paper Street coffee is actually good for computers. If you just pour a cup of Paper Street coffee into the back of a computer,
usually
it actually
faster.
it actually increases the memory. Yeah, and works faster. It's all good. Has Joe Rogan ever spilled his drink in the middle of a show?
Probably. He's 2,000 shows in.
Now to wipe my tears off. You any downside to training with Emma? Challenges?
Yeah, sometimes she can just beat me in things by so much that I feel like there's no hope for me. But yeah, I don't know. It's 95% positive probably. But then there's kind of like the opposite thing that can happen where I do crappy in one thing and she might even still beat me, but I realized I didn't do as bad as I thought I did. So it can kind of go both ways. It can make you feel bad about a workout you shouldn't feel bad about, and then better about a workout that maybe you should feel bad about.
Where Joe doesn't Joe doesn't spill drinks. Great. Now who's the rookie podcaster? All right. I deserve that. All right. Fine. I deserve that. I'll take it. Games this year, is it doable?
Yeah. Yeah, I think absolutely. Like that's the goal. And honestly, I didn't even know if I'd be totally satisfied just to make the games and kind of be a no name in the first heat. I kind of want to make the games and be relevant. I'm not really sure what that means in terms of a placing or whether I just want to have a couple events or something, but I just want to be a more relevant name at the games this year. And I think I put a lot of pressure on myself last year to make it, and I honestly just don't think I was ready. Like I didn't have the base and the skills to do it.
You're 20.
Yeah.
A pretty common theme is the young men have more trouble jumping the gap from teen to individual than the women. Fair? Is that true?
Yeah, I think.
Is that science?
Like
is that biology?
Yeah, I'd have to think so. Dallin's maybe the best teenage competitor of all time. He was in my year at the games, and he just made it last year. So, yeah, I think that says something.
So when you look at the landscape, you're not disappointed. You're like, oh, I'm in the game.
Yeah, and yeah, and honestly, I didn't even care about making it at a certain age versus someone else making it at a certain age. like I feel like I am kind of developing a little bit later. Like back when I was a kid, the strength number difference between me and like the top guys in my age group was huge. And slowly that gap started to close until maybe like last year or a year and a half ago. And then I've kind of kept going a little bit more. That's just in terms of strength. Obviously there are other elements that to be considered, but yeah, I think I'm still on the up for sure.
Emma has had no I mean she showed up.
Yeah.
And is just demolishing it. Did you know that? Like when you train with her, I know you guys train in a bit of a vacuum there. It's just the two of you. But when you before she went to the games or even before the quarterfinals or semifinals started, were you like, oh shit, the world's about to see something?
Not until before the games. I mean, she was very impressive in quarterfinals, and I think she had COVID as she did it, and still was like, I mean, she just had like a gnarly cough a little bit, and I think she still came like 10th in North America or even better. I don't remember, but that was impressive. But I remember.
So are you saying that COVID made her better? That's what I'm hearing you say.
It might have, yeah.
Okay.
It might have.
Okay.
It wasn't until before the games though, and at that point my season was over. Just watching her train and thinking like, this is nuts. Like the paces on machines, the times on certain things. Like I knew she was like, for her, next level. I didn't know what that meant at the games though. Like, does that mean she shows up and now she is like 20th? Does that mean she's 10th? And as soon as they released that first workout, I was like, okay, this is like wheelhouse. Like she would smoke anyone at the gym and this type of thing. And that was the bike to work, like the biking, chest to bar and toe to bar event. And I was thinking like, okay, this will be like the indicator for what a good event for her is. And then she came third in that one, but basically won it in terms of being behind by like one or 2 seconds. So that kind of set the tone to like, okay, like, yeah, this is going to be a pretty crazy weekend, I think.
When and why did you go to Nashville to train at Proven? How does that work? Tell me about that story, how that happens.
Yeah, I think I mean, I kind of just tagged along. I wasn't really invited. But I remember Emma, Emma and T at the games, I think had some conversations, and it seems like T and Shane kind of really appreciated the fact that
they were trying to poach her from Josh. I'll fill in the blanks for the listeners. Okay, go on.
That Emma and Josh were learning to do things like on their own. And that they kind of talked about in Nashville how that was kind of like them when they were coming up, like they were learning together. And they said that no one really lent them a hand in terms of learning. So if they could do anything to help speed up that process a little bit, that they were more than happy to do that. And so I think Tia made reference to maybe coming down to train during the games, and then a couple weeks later, messaged them and said like, for real, come down and train. And then they threw me the invite as well, so I tagged along.
And you can bring the help.
Yeah,
Emma, exactly. Come and you can bring the help.
Yeah. I think that was after Rogue announced like the qualifiers, and they saw me and thought, oh, maybe this guy isn't like a total joke, and they invited me as well.
So when Rich invites you to Mayhem, you'll bring Emma?
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So when was this? And tell me about that. So they invite Emma to come down. Is it for any amount of time? Is it like 4 weeks, 5 weeks? How like what's the?
No. I think they kind of just said a couple days. But we could basically only make it work for flying out Friday night and then training Saturday, Sunday, and leaving. We either left Sunday night or Monday first thing in the morning. So like 2 days.
So then Saturday and Sunday, you guys are just in the gym all day trying to just get as much you can from Shane.
Yeah. And so Shane and Tia were there, and then also the Wells twins and Saxon Panchik.
No shit. God. And you got to train with Saxon.
Yeah. Me and Emma did everything the same as Saxon because he's leading up to Rogue. We weren't going to travel all that distance just to do our own programming. So we did everything with Saxon, and then Tia was kind of still in off-season mode a little bit, so she did maybe 80%, 70% with us.
It would be such a douchebag thing to show up there and do your own programming, like
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and they definitely put it out there, like, no pressure, do whatever you want. But we were all like, yeah, there's no chance we're gonna just use this space that we flew to.
It must be kind of. I mean, Saxon. God, were you excited to train with him? I personally think like he has some of the most promise. Like I see him the closest person to kind of like Justin Medeiros. I just think when I think of Saxon, I think he can fucking do everything. Every time he steps out on the field, I'm like blown away. Oh shit, he's strong. Oh shit, he's fast. I just think I don't know why. Maybe it's because of his brother, but I just think that he is one of the biggest threats to winning the title. I just think he's so complete. And he has a normal body. You know what I mean? He doesn't have any of these outlier like weird traits. Did you glean a lot from him? Was that fun? I mean, he's got all of Saxon's like all of Scott's wealth of knowledge too, right? He's basically 2 generations in one.
Yeah, and like I don't get to really train with like an elite level male ever unless I'm competing against them. So, you know, you don't want it to become some like next competitive thing, but I was definitely like eyeing him up a little bit the whole weekend. Like he's like the exact picture of like what you need to be good at the game. So there was
like if he wins the games, no one's surprised. If he would have won the games last year, so it would have been like, wow, good job, Saxon, but no one would have been like it's not like completely out of left field at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of comparing myself to him a little bit all weekend, and there's some things that I was like, wow, like he is significantly better at those things. But honestly, some things went the other way too. Like I was thinking like I can do this, and like he doesn't have that in him. So it wasn't totally like just like
it offered you hope, not demoralizing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is he nice?
Very, yeah. He's Saxon's pretty quiet, but so am I. So we kind of just did our thing. Yeah.
Okay, so even though he was quiet, you didn't take it like he was being standoffish or a dick.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Interesting. And another interesting thing about Emma and Tia is their body composition. I guess Tia's the same way, or Emma's the same way. Her body is just like a normal body. It's not like you don't see her as some sort of outlier. She seems proportioned, her body composition. And you see that about Tia too. She's just like, you know, if she stopped doing CrossFit for 2 years, she just looked like a normal chick.
Yeah. They, I think they're pretty similar athletes actually.
Did they bond?
Yeah. I think
Tia and Emma.
I think Tia sees like a bit of her younger self in Emma for sure. So, yeah, they definitely did.
And then you go home. Did Josh go with you?
He did, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and then the last night we all went out for dinner with Tia and Shane, and she probably just answered questions of ours for 2.5 hours straight. So, yeah, they were awesome.
Wow. Anything that stood out to you that just popped at the top of your head that she said to you, that Tia said? Anything about winning, her mindset, training, health?
Well, I mentioned that Atlas for me this year. There were 2 workouts that I knew I was going to crush, and my mindset going into those workouts was that like I cannot be beat here. And like if someone else speeds up, like either they're going to fall off or I have more in the tank, like one of the two. And the other workouts I went in with such fear of what could happen. And I think that like those weren't going to be my best workouts, but I think that made them significantly worse than they are. And she basically said that every workout you go into, like there's no different mindset. It's like you know what you have in you, and whether that means winning or whatever, coming middle of the pack, you can't let what you think other people are capable of affect how you're going to attack a workout. So that was one thing that I kind of just took with me from that conversation.
Another interesting facet might be the fact that you were saying about how your mom is starting to understand, the commitment that it takes, that even though there's not a competition coming, that the training still has to be, at a super high level. When you started dating Emma, that must have brought some perspective also for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So they kind of, for me, I wasn't doing much like at that time. Like whatever, I'd go to a competition here and there, but like there wasn't semifinals or anything. And then they go see Emma in her last year in the teen division, like just clean house. And then they were like, oh wow, like if you could do anything like that, like we're in like legit territory basically. So yeah, she's definitely helped that cause a little bit.
When I think of two things that would be really difficult to improve in movement, I always think of like ring dips. Like they just suck, right? Or just dipping, just because of the fact that once they go away, they're gone. At least that's the way I think of them, right? You do a max set of ring dips, and then you go to do a second set, and there's let's say you did 40 the first set, the next set you got 3. The other thing would be handstand push-ups.
Yeah,
and yet you were able to take that weakness. If I had that weakness and I was a competitor, I'd be like, oh shit. Am I going to be the guy who fucking never, who is like, oh, that's Jack Farlow. He could win the games, but he doesn't have handstand push-ups. You were able to actually become really good at handstand push-ups.
Yeah. And that's,
can you tell me about that journey? Like, did you have that fear? Did you see that as like, oh, I suck at these, I'll never be better?
No.
No?
I think when I was like, as you kind of progress from being a kid to more of an adult, I think also your skill set changes. So like when I was super light, like I could
because of your levers, because of your levers, or
shorter arms, smaller or less body weight, everything like that. And so like as a kid, I used to like be as good as anyone on like strict handstand push-ups or like body weight stuff, burpees and stuff like that. And then as you get bigger, obviously I'm getting a ton stronger, but yeah, now I have longer arms. I'm significantly heavier, and so I always kind of felt like I had it still in me. It was just a matter of getting it back, even though that might not have necessarily been true. But yeah, I did the 1 quarterfinal workout and just my handstand push-ups fell apart a little bit, and realized that was something that I now needed to work on, which was almost like it was eye-opening because I kind of still thought that I was good at them. But yeah, just over the course of like the next 6 months, we just hammered them. And then the next year in quarterfinals, I knew what I had in terms of capacity for handstand push-ups, but it didn't really occur to me that was now like an elite level of handstand push-up capacity. So then I did that quarterfinal workout with handstand push-ups, and I think I came like 4th in North America or something. And I was like, oh wow, I might be pretty good at these now. And so I knew I got better, but I didn't know how much really.
Would you say that you literally took it from a place to where you feared them in the workout to like now you see them and you're happy to see them?
Strict handstand push-ups, or really any handstand push-ups, I never feared. I kind of fear movements that I think I'm bad at and that are very uncomfortable to do. But going to like failure on strict handstand push-ups in a workout, now you just have to like rest. So it's not, I don't know. I feared it in terms of my placing, but I didn't like dread seeing them in workouts really.
You said in one of those podcasts that I listened to that there was a time where you didn't condone this, but you would do 50 handstand push-ups like every other day or every day for a summer for time. Tell me about that. That's wild.
Yeah. So that was,
how old were you?
That was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Actually maybe even 6. So yeah, like I feel like handstand push-ups have really come in waves. At first I sucked at them, and I remember doing an open workout that ended with like 55, and I think I got like 2. And yeah, I'm just like a kid at this point, and I was so bummed out.
You got 2 of 55.
Yeah, in like probably 8 minutes on the wall. Yeah.
That's pretty bottom of the barrel. And I would even when someone tells me they only got 2 of 55, I'm thinking he probably didn't even lock out on that second one.
I redid that one recently, and I still only got 2.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I would go home there, and this is at a time even before I started following any of like the online programming, and I would just do whatever I want. And I still have some pictures of like the whiteboard on my phone from those times, and just the workouts I would write up were like just crazy in terms of like volume of things. But every day I had just on like this left column of my whiteboard my 50 handstand push-up time, and I probably tested it 6 times a week. And like, so it started with like having to do sets of 3, then 2, and then eventually got to like opening with a set of 20 and just getting better and better. So yeah, that was
What was your worst time ever back then, 5 or 6 years? Like, did you ever do like 1 a minute for 50 minutes? Did you ever do that?
No. When the first time I did it, I was probably like 12 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that 2 of 50.
So your difference between ass and my difference between ass is so different. Like 50 minutes, like if I did 1 a minute for 50 minutes, I'd be like, oh, that's a great place to start.
Yeah. This is a kipping handstand push-up too. So if that makes any difference, not as strict.
What is this, Caleb? This is one of his old school workouts.
This was I don't know if this is for sure, but this was the 55 workout that I was.
Okay.
That we were talking about.
Yeah.
So you made it to the end and just chilled, Caleb?
Yeah, pretty much. I did 2 handstand push-ups, and then I just stared at the wall for the next 5 minutes or whatever.
When you're with this guy Josh, and he must be, everyone must be coming up now, right? Emma has this outstanding just year, and you and Josh are in her tent. And I just say her tent because of just the statement she made, right? It's obviously what's the name of his program? The Mammoth?
Mammoth Training Methods. Yeah, but like he doesn't sell programming to anyone, so that's just kind of like a play on words for his last name.
Does he work at a CrossFit gym?
No, he has a full-time job that's unrelated.
Oh, God, what a weird. Do you guys see yourself with him long term? Like, are you like, wow, this? I mean, it's unique.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I think as we get kind of bigger and bigger, it like the idea of it becoming more of a full-time thing for him just makes more and more sense. So yeah, I think like it's not gonna probably stay like this forever. Like he might be our coach, but and not even to say he'd be coaching other athletes, but just kind of he'd be more involved into like a full-time CrossFit gig. I don't know what that would look like, but yeah.
But you sense growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel it.
Yeah.
Has your relationship changed as well? I mean, you're obviously both getting older, but with Emma's success, has your relationship changed? Has it put any strain on the relationship or added any value to it?
No, I think yeah, no, nothing's changed. And I think like I think that's kind of like we have like our CrossFit training partner side, and then our like kind of like boyfriend girlfriend side. Maybe that's a little bit different. So I'm not sure the two really carry over as much as they could, and maybe that's a good thing to kind of just separate life a little bit.
Yeah. Rogue.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the biggest stage you've ever been on.
Yeah, by far.
And I think if I remember right, for some of the stuff that I've heard from my friends, that 14 of the 15 best guys from the games will be there.
Yeah. And then 5 other people plus me.
And then you. It's all the best guys from the games and you, Jack. Are you freaking out?
I'm nervous. But I was freaking out. I would be freaking out more if I felt like I was going into a competition with people thinking I was going to win it. Like I feel like I go to Rogue and I cannot mess up. Like I could come last in every event and everyone would just be like, oh, and I really don't think that's going to happen. Like training's been going well. I've good confidence in myself. That's not to say I think I'm going to win it, but like I think I'll hold my own for sure.
And you're gonna have you met any of these guys before?
Briefly, a couple. I did a competition with Chandler this past summer, and I met Noah briefly at the games.
Good dudes.
But
That's
everyone
about
else-
so you met the two nicest guys in CrossFit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I only talked to Noah for a second, but yeah, no one has ever been so down to earth as Chandler and being so good.
Let me see who's gonna be. Who else is there? Let me tell you who's gonna be a dick to you. Scroll. Let me see. Keep going. Not Bjorgvin. He's too nice. Not Jason Hopper. Not Lazar. Nope. No dicks yet. No. Oh, no. There's no dicks there. You're gonna have a good time. Those are all good dudes.
Yeah. I'm super
Dang.
excited though. It's gonna be sweet.
Dang, Jack, you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
everyone
qualifying for.
Go ahead.
Sorry, qualifying for Rogue. I put nothing on it. Like honestly, I was just doing the qualifier because I have struggled doing online things in the past, and whatever would be a good thing to do. I was only like a week or two back into training after like a month off or a month taking it pretty chill after I did an off-season competition there. So and then I just did the first workout, and I was thinking actually I saw the workouts come out and I thought I'm not even going to bother doing this because this is just going to drain my confidence to see how low I finish because the workouts were not what I would consider good for me. But I just did the first workout and it was super smooth, and I kind of just kept that train rolling and ended up submitting my scores and they were good enough. So
you went to Can West and took fourth, and you went to Can East and took first.
Yeah.
Were one of those competitions the competition that didn't pay? Like they had some financial issues?
Kind of both.
They both did. Oh shit! You took first.
It's the same. It's Can Fit production.
There's this movie from in the 70s or 80s called Excalibur. I don't know why I thought of it the other day in the shower, but I wanted to find the clip at some point and play it on the show. But they tell the king says someone steals something from the king or kills someone he knows, and everyone in the court is demanding that the king get retribution on that person. And the king says in the movie, true power comes from forgiveness. And I always loved that line as a kid. I mean, I know it sucks that they didn't pay or whatever, but it's on them. It's their problem. And if you're mad at them, then it's it's kind of like you picked up some shit there that you didn't want. You meant to leave with money and you left with anger. Fuck that. I don't want to how about I just leave with nothing? How did you process it? And then other people are like, well, Sevan, people spent their last $1,000 there that was for their rent, knowing that they were going to get $1,200 back, and they didn't, and they're really pissed. I'm like, yeah, but now you're arguing with reality, and arguing with reality makes you a tard.
Yeah. I have no anger in me. Do I want the 10,000 that they owe me?
That's how much you should have got, 10K.
Well, 5 from each. So 5 for coming fourth at Can West, and then another 5 for winning Can East. So
that's a lot of dinners with Emma. Okay, that's a lot of dinners with Emma. Oh shit.
And they seem to have the intention of working towards one day paying that. So whatever, that's good enough for me now. But yeah, I have no resent, and honestly, the two people who run the show there, I really like. I think they've been super good to me. So outside of that money, I have nothing bad to say.
Thank you, Heidi. I was quite proud of that one. Arguing with reality makes you a tard. Yeah. And I do it a lot too. You know what I mean? The rock pops up, hits your windshield's cracked and you're pissed. It's like, whoa, easy. It's broken. It's what are you doing? It's broken. It's just chill. Why do you got to be angry too? But I'm a very wise man. I'm old. I'm old and wise. Right, Caleb? Oldish and wise-ish. Are you going to school?
Yeah, full-time. I do biomedical engineering at Waterloo here, University of Waterloo.
What are you doing? Is Emma going to school too?
Well, she's finishing high school right now, so I'm not sure what her plan is for next year.
You're going to jail. You're going to jail, Jack. She's finishing high school?
Yeah, last year.
Romeo Juliet law.
Oh my God. How old is she?
17.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Biomedical engineering. That sounds like
Dude,
some
you're gonna make
transhumanism shit. Like
so much fucking money.
What'd you say?
He's gonna make so much fucking money.
That's a good job.
Oh yeah, we have that job in the Air Force, and it's like a year-long school. And then once you get out, like people just get out of the military because you make stupid money.
Are all your siblings overachievers? Like the whole family? Like what are you doing? Why don't you just quit school and chill? Just do CrossFit. What are you doing?
I don't know. I think, well, to answer your first question, yeah, most of my siblings, like I think 4 or 5 of my other siblings did engineering at Waterloo too, which in Canada is like the top engineering school. So it's like it's a pretty big deal if you're there. And everyone who didn't do that, like they're doing pretty well for themselves. Why not quit school? Well, I've said this before, but I feel like if I have the time to do all the training I need to do, and I have the time to get enough sleep, have the time to do stretching, I don't see it as like a negative, and I view it as a positive. Just like when I do shitty in a workout, like for example, last week I was retesting like a running distance I did, and I got slower over the course of like 2 months of training that time. And obviously it's just like a bad day, but you start thinking like, man, like how did that go that poorly? And just to know that like I'm doing something else, that this could all blow up and I'd still be fine in terms of like making a life for myself.
Right.
And then also like I get home and I don't have time to think about that run now. Like I have class to go to or homework to do. So for now, I view it as like a positive thing. Maybe there's like a couple times in a year that it's like, oh man, there's so many assignments to do, and now whatever, I have to take an hour or 2 out of my sleep for that one day. So maybe that's a negative. But who knows, when I'm done in 3 years, if things are going well on the CrossFit side, like I'll take some time off between school and finding a job to like kind of put all my eggs into one basket.
Spiegel says your career is biomedical engineering, not selling toast spacers on Instagram.
Exactly. Yeah.
You asshole, Spiegel. That's incredible. And you have 3 years left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at all the parents are jumping in. They're so happy. Good kid. Please speak to my boys.
Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's hard, but 100% it's doable, at least for me. I mean, I don't go for top marks in the class. Like I do enough to, yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. So I do enough to like get by comfortably and not come to the final and need some 90 to pass the course. I just kind of stay baseline throughout the whole year, and whatever mark that gives me that's acceptable to pass, I'll take it.
My wife bought my son this huge box, my 3 sons, this huge box of rubber bands, and they've been making like bracelets and necklaces and rings. And what's funny is he said, what color do you want? And I said, black and white. And he said, oh, we're out of black and white rubber bands. Do you want rainbow? And I said, yeah, sure. I'll take rainbow. It's fine. I'll take it. Thank you. And I'm like, oh my, I deserve it. I'm going to have to wear a rainbow bracelet for the next year, and I deserve it. And then he came, and I was just like, yeah, who might argue with reality, right? There it is again. So I'm just like, I just thought, okay, I'm going to be wearing a rainbow bracelet, and people are going to be tearing me up, and I'm going to be a hypocrite, but I was going to enjoy it. I kind of love that space. And then 5 minutes later, 50 minutes later, he's like, oh, I did find enough black and white. I was like, oh, yes. So I keep losing it. Every time I take off my sweatshirt, it falls off, and I can't find it. I don't think it's going to last long, to be honest. But it's kind of cool. Like when you're a parent, anything your kid makes you wear. Do you have family? Are your mom and dad going to Rogue?
No, they can't make it, sadly, but they'll definitely be watching.
The most important thing you do when you go there is, do you know, Jack?
Write a letter to
no,
Bill and Katie.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. Ready?
Yeah.
Meet Bill and Katie.
Okay.
That is the most important thing you need to do. Hi, shake their hand. Thank you. Like, I mean, you're a good boy. I mean, I already know you're a gentleman of the highest order. but like, thank you. This is, you know what I mean? Just sincere. Or if it's shit, tell them, hey, this is shit. But it won't be.
Yeah.
Ask him if you can take a ride in the roller coaster.
But leave an impression on them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like try to make googly eyes at Bill. Like, look right into his eyes. Like,
all right. Yeah, I've heard nothing but the greatest things about them. So
good start, Jack. Right here. Yep, me too. I've heard nothing but good things about them too. Okay, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What a blast. If you ever want to come back again, don't hesitate to reach out. I don't say that very often, right, Caleb?
No, this is true.
You're always welcome on the show. I enjoyed your company. I think you've had a pretty amazing life, and I think that there's a shitload we could always talk about.
All right, sounds good.
All right, man. I'll be watching you at Rogue. I'm sure I'll be texting you and bugging you to try to get you on. I never take offense when people ghost me, so don't even worry about it. I know you're busy, but we will be bugging you because
sounds
you
good.
fucked up and gave us your phone number.
That's right. All right,
brother.
All right. See you later.
Ciao. Another one in the books. Yeah.
What a good kid.
Oh, he's dope. He's so cool. Interesting, right? Emma doesn't want a plan B to put pressure on herself. He has a plan B, but it is also interesting that he leverages it to not let his mind wander. So it's not only not necessarily that he has a plan B, but it's almost like he's medicating himself with the fitness so he doesn't stress about school. So I think I approve.
He's
Do you
keeping
approve?
himself on track for sure.
Yeah, I think I approve.
I agree. I mean, you could say the same thing with what Matt did. Like, Matt got a degree before he was competing at the same time.
I think Camille, believe it or not, Camille did the same thing. She did some hardcore.
Pretty sure she's a biomedical engineer or something like that as well.
I know. That about a week ago, I sent a text to, or 2 weeks ago, I sent a text to Caleb and Souza and Will and Jen, to the whole team, and I was like, "Hey, let's just start doing 2-a-days. Give me like, let's just go crazy. I want to just go as hard as I can for the next month until I just want to vomit and don't want anything else to do with CrossFit." So I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to. I get in that space before the games. We get in that space, we go absolutely nuts, and by the end of the games, I'm like, oh. I tell Matt, please, no more CrossFit. But I'm kind of reinvigorated, and I'm trying to get everyone to come on. I think, who I'm really excited about, obviously, is I think we have Rich coming on Tuesday.
I saw that pop up on the calendar.
Oh, is that tomorrow? Yeah. We have Rich Froney and Angelo coming on tomorrow.
Oh,
Listen
shit.
to this. What?
I said, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Super cool.
Tomorrow's going to be crazy. Listen to this. Jared Graybeal from Zello Games, pump up the Zello Games a little bit, talk about it, talk about the qualifier. Then Ariel Lowen, talk to her. She's cool. She's easy. Rich and Angelo, super easy. And then for the first time, I'll meet Nick Matthews. I'm basically on for 5.5 hours straight tomorrow.
Can't wait.
Are you going to be here?
Yeah, I'll be here.
You're nuts. Camille was twerking 5 classes during the summer. She was twerking. Why was she doing that? I guess if you got it, shake it. I'm struggling to Devesh Maharaj. I'm struggling to keep up watching 2 weeks old episodes and the live.
You have plenty to go back and watch.
Did you guys know that Heidi Heidi made this book? Beach to it.
Damn it.
I want to lift weights like my mom. Go to Amazon, type in Heidi, HEIDI space CRUME.
She's an author now.
I get my book tomorrow. I'm so freaking stoked. I can't believe she did it. Hey, Heidi, you got to come on. We got to come on and talk about how you did it. Like, what happened? Did you already have it written and you cheated? Or after you saw the Brad Ghost episode, were you inspired and you're like, fuck it? How did you do the pictures? I mean, I know you're crazy talented and capable. I mean, I've seen what you do on Instagram. In your creative, you're just oozing with, one-liners and creativity. But this is so cool that you did this.
The fact that she has more than one line is impressive.
The fact that she has more than one. Yeah. Heidi suggests Maharaji Abdul Maharaji watches at Devesh Maharaj watches at 1.25 speed. Justin Vellner, top dudes getting degrees and killing it on CrossFit. Word, good job, Eric. Yep. Good tidbit of info. You're kind of an author. I got 2 books. He's
gonna be tied with you after tomorrow.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I'm writing the second one today. Should be on Amazon by tomorrow. Oh, you're killing me. Vindicate. Let's I hate let's fucking go, but I love Travis. If I never heard anyone else ever say that again, I'd be happy.
Somebody that I work with says that they hate that too. And I just think it's funny now. I use it all the time just to piss them off.
You're a good dude, Caleb. I'm watching at 1.5 speed. I'm Indian. You know our brains are stronger than yours. 1.25. Ha! For the white man, maybe. Her goal is to catch up to Brad Gross. No, not Brad Gross.
Oh.
Bad. Oh, thank you. I thought you were being funny. Jeez Louise. Oh, blow me, Bruce. All right. That's it for me today. I got so much to prepare for tomorrow. Today's going to be just a full-blown panic. And the thing is Wednesday, and I have to read this book by Chris Wark that I'm almost done with, the cancer book. CHRISWARK. Chris Wark is our guest on Wednesday. That's going to be an amazing show. And then in the evening, we have the Rogue Programming Show. We have invited Ben Smith and Dave Castro to be on that show. I'll be curious if either of them come on that show with JR, Howell, and Taylor, the thumb self. Hopefully, Rogue will release some of the workouts so we have something to do a show on.
Dear Bill and Katie.
Dear Bill and Kate, please. Yes, thank you. No, I only ask for objects. Sevan, I'm giving away an L1. I hope you are happy. Whoa, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes. I think with one of the shirts that he's selling, he's going to pick somebody from one of the shirts that he sells to get a free L1.
I hate that. That's going to cut into my shirt sales. What shirt is it?
I think it's the one that they quoted Greg Glassman on.
Oh, okay. I see. So what's going on, Travis? Hold on a second. Let me see what's going on here. Invite, copy. Do you have Travis's number? I think I can.
Yeah, I have his number.
I think I got it. I can beat you.
You're faster than me.
Travis Bellinghausen. Is that his last name?
That's the one.
Oh, okay. I sent you a link, Travis, if you want to jump on. I got to convince my wife to let me buy the sweatshirt.
Why? Just do it anyway. Be a man.
Just do it anyway. I'm not a fan. I'm not. I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm not a fan of shirts with like all that writing on them.
You always said that.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like pictures.
Then you'll really like Heidi's book.
I'm a picture guy. So basically, what Travis is doing, why doesn't it say that on here that you get an L1 if you buy the shirt?
I think it was on his Instagram. Hold on.
Well, it needs to say it here, right? I click there. Along with the purchase of this item, we will select one winner to receive a paid registration to the level 1 certification course of their choice. Don't forget to check the I'm interested in the L1 box at checkout. Wow. Wow. And is this kind of the fuck you to
Noble for not
Noble?
quoting Greg? Yeah. He posted that almost immediately. I was impressed.
God, we have a great group of people.
Oh shit. They're awesome.
When would you have Danielle Brandon back on? You missed her already? She was
Probably
great, right?
Next year.
I want to have her on for that dating show, but I know no one's going to call in. But I still need to try it anyway. But I'm like nervous to do it because if we do the show and no one calls in, it'll I'd just be me and her talking. I guess that's fine. Man, that's badass. I agree. You have to choose. You have to choose to do the in the draw. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. When you buy it, you have to sign up for the drawing also.
Oh, got you.
Yeah. There's also. I thought it was a hoodie. Yeah. There's tons of stuff. Shirts, hoodies. It looks like there's a whole bunch. Okay. Oh, there he is. Here comes Travis to talk to us about it.
Oh, and he's gone.
Nope. Bye, Travis. And he fell off the screen. Oh, send you the questions and then you'll ask them. I know, but it's so much better when I appreciate that. You're so solution oriented. It's so much better if people would just call in and ask Danielle stuff. It would be fucking hilarious. What about getting other single CrossFitters on the Love Call-In show? Well, I don't care if they're single. Oh, I just want, you mean, but wouldn't it, I think that just Danielle Brandon would just be so good for that.
Yeah. That would be pretty funny if she.
What's this super badass hot chick think? Like, what advice does she have for you? Like, I could just see her just slapping guys down. No, that's fucking stupid. Oh, he's in his car. Wow. Here we go. Unmute yourself, brother. Unmute yourself. Hey.
Sorry, I'm on the interstate.
Hey, Hiller said you have a nicer body than he imagined.
Hiller's smaller than I thought he'd be.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh my goodness!
No, actually, we're about the same size. I might.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we're about the same size. He's pushing 200. I'm 194.
Are you taller than him?
No, we're like exactly the same height.
Oh, what's up with that headset? What's up with that headset?
This?
No.
What do you mean? Oh, this? That's my dad. I'm borrowing my dad's truck.
Oh, what is he? What is he like?
I was
976. Love me. What is he like? A phone operator?
I don't know why he has that. Actually, that thing's old.
What's going on with these sweatshirts?
I'm on my way home from Masters Fitness Collective.
Oh, cool. Is it raining?
Greg, it's going to the farther ahead west. It's getting darker. It's not raining quite yet. I actually headed back. I didn't get done packing up the booth until 7 last night, so I started heading back. It's a 10-hour drive, so I stopped about 4 hours in because I was done.
What's up with these shirts?
Giving Greg props for his quote, so we made shirts. Get started with the t-shirts and the tanks, and then I started getting more messages like, hey, we need sweatshirts. So I was like, all right, we'll put up sweatshirts. And then I got messages that we need flags, so I put up flags. And it was funny. I was actually, so I'm going to circle it back. I thought about it on the way to Masters Fitness Collective. I crossed the border from Iowa to Illinois, and I saw the Chicago sign, and I sent Hiller a picture. I said, hey, I'm coming to get you, motherfucker. You're going with me. And I couldn't get him to come with me. And he messaged me. He's like, where are you? I said, I'm on my way to the competition. I said, I'll be going right by Chicago. He's like, dude, come over. Like, all right, cool. So I actually met Hiller for the first time on the way. And we were sitting there talking, and he actually brought it up to me. He's like, you should do a shirt for that Glassman quote. And I was like, I was actually thinking about that while I was driving. So that kind of kick-started it to actually do it. And then
the flag's cool. The flag is really cool.
I thought the flag would be really sweet for gyms. Like,
yep.
That's the mantra. Put it on the wall.
Yep, that's cool.
So then I was like, okay, the shirt's cool, but what else could I do? I was like, I got to do an L1. Why not? So what we're doing, the pre-orders are Friday, and then I'll pick. There's a checkbox when you fill it out. If you're interested in L1, select yes, and then whoever selects yes, I'm gonna pick a random person to give away an L1 to whatever their location is. I'll just pay the registration fee.
That's awesome, dude. I fucking love this.
I was like, yeah, I can do a shirt. That's neat, but let's tie it even more to Greg.
Hey, let the person know I'd love to have them on after they take the L1 and ask them about their experience at the L1.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that. What a cool thing. You're a boss, dude.
That's dope.
Thank you. Had to do it. I was like, come on, you guys. You can't use this quote and not attribute it. I get it. They can do what they want. It's theirs. But at least give them
well, at this point, all it matters is that it motivated you to do something cool.
Yeah, definitely. It was getting a good response. It's done well. I was very happy.
Awesome.
All right,
dude.
Lots of love at Masters Fitness Collective too. A lot of people came up saying how much they loved the show.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Gabe said it was cool hanging with you. Brian said it was cool meeting Gabe. Sounds like it was fun.
Oh my God, I met so many people. And fucking Ron Ortiz is the man.
Oh, he's such the man.
He was like, I've never met him, talked to him. He was one of the first people that came up and we talked for 10 minutes, just hanging out.
Oh, Trish. Oh, Trish. You know I can't say that word on this show anymore.
You mean Badissi?
Yeah, that one. Thank you, Caleb. Yes, thank you. All right, Travis. Good to see you, brother. Keep up the good work. I'll see you in the text messages.
Sounds good.
Bye. And that's our marketing for the show. Selling books for listen. I'm all about this this winning the L1, but Partners Apparel, Sevan Podcast. This is the shirt you want. Oh, this is the shirt you want. Yum. One of my favorite shirts. It's kind of so my favorite that I kind of get nervous when I wear it, like I'm wearing it out.
Which one is it?
Just the blue one. Oh shit, you guys can't. I thought I was sharing screen. It's the one with the flag.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
I have that one tucked away. It's only for special occasions.
Yeah. I mean, this one's always great too. My shirt's on sale. I don't know if I approve of that. I don't know if I approve of that at all. Why does that shirt look so small too?
It actually fits really big on me.
In a good way or in a bad way?
No, in a really good way compared to the other, like the American flag one.
Yeah, the American flag one's a little tighter.
Yeah, it makes my biceps pop. That one I can it's a little bit more comfortable with how big it is.
I like the girls in this one. Is this one for girls?
No, it's for me.
You have this?
No.
Oh.
I want it. I want one though, just for fun.
Oh, order one. Get one. Tell him.
All right, I'll get one then.
Yeah. Dear. Oh, this has reviews. Let's see. It's sexy, Elaine.
Dear
oh yeah, these
Travis.
are all girls who got it, dude.
Okay, I gotta give a review then.
I think that might be a girl's shirt.
No way.
All right,
it's
fine.
unisex.
All right, fine, unisex. Uh-oh. Everything okay there?
Oh shit. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. This noise.
How close is the runway to you where you're sitting?
I could throw a rock outside this door and be on the runway.
Wow. All right, Caleb. It's an interesting life you live. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Jack Farlow, what a beast. Thanks for coming on the show. We will see all of you guys tomorrow. Rich Froning, Angelo DeChico, Nick Matthew, Ariel Lowen, Jared Graybeal. Did I forget anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Will Branstetter's coming on tomorrow. All right. I just saw him in the comments. Okay, guys,